None of them really, of all of those things, none of them are really a competency of your business. Yeah, the things you need to do in order to enable these next-gen mobile apps. But if you're a chemical company, or if you're a transport company building, car parts, or you're an AGCO who are here in the room building tractors and farming equipment, none of this really supports your core business. It's just a means to an end. Now, and of course, the tools are very different, right? Ruby, PHP, Node.js, all of these cool technologies. But they do require skill sets that are expensive and not something you maybe have lying around in the organization. The flip side, on the client side, let's look at the things you're working on there. Working with your customers to understand the requirements. UX design, which shouldn't be underestimated, obviously. The functionality of the user interface. Consuming those services and doing things with them, presenting them to the user. End user testing. I would argue that of all those things there, that is far more compelling and tied to the business. The success of the application absolutely is dependent on that. The tools are obviously very different. You're working with Photoshop to do your wireframes. You're working with products like Titanium for the build, or maybe native toolkits for iOS and Android. The skill sets are in many cases very different. Java, JavaScript, Objective-C, HTML5. And so, I find if you look at those two, they're actually very, very different in the prioritization, the level of importance that an enterprise would have on them. And so the question that is asked is, well, do you really want to be an expert in building these back-end services? So I think what we're seeing is a trend where you kind of look at the numbers. Obviously, it has to be a business discussion that says, financially, it doesn't make sense. But also, just some of these softer aspects. Is this where we should be investing? Is this a core competency of ours? Is this something that makes sense?